It was so different back then. I think the whole atmosphere was sort of different. It wasn't as, I don't know. My name is Rosella Rice Ramsey, and my aunt and uncle, Toki and Dara Gentry, were jailers here in the jail way back in the early 50s, I guess it was. I wouldn't have wanted to have lived in jail, but that was why it didn't seem to be strange to me that that's where they lived. Because I can remember her makeup was in this room, and it'd take her a long time to get her changed to go uptown, as we used to call it. She'd get all dressed up, and we'd walk up the street.
I'm A.J. Bridges. I was born and raised here in Madison County. I was born and raised up on the head of Warner Creek up there. A.J., that's what they call me. My real name's Andrew Jackson Bridges. This is a political county. It was pretty bad. One side got in there, they tried to see what they could do bad to the other side, and then that side would try to do what they can bad to the other side. Try to get you for anything. Try to catch you for anything. That's it.
My name is Josh Copus, and I am an artist, and I am also a part of the group that bought the old Marshall jail. One of the things that was really important about this jail was that it was very visible. It was very much a part of the community. We, didn't just buy an old building in downtown Marshall. We most definitely bought the old jail.
It was a gathering place. You could call it that, yeah. A gathering place. People would come and just sit and talk.
A lot of people have a lot of connections to this place over the years and a lot of opinions about the building itself and stories about the people who spent time here.
When Roy Roberts was in there, I stayed in there 3 hours one night. They locked up 35 of us. They said PD, that's public drunkenness.
So it's a very unique position to be renovating a building like this because people do really care.
3 hours over there, they had us all that little runaround. It was packed. We was packed in there like sardines.
You never came in that front door unless there was a lot of people in it. A lot of people. Of course, there was a lot of people in Marshall, a lot of businesses. It was the county seat. So it was a very busy place. I would have been over here in the jail in the early part of when E.Y. Ponder was the sheriff.
E.Y. Ponder was the sheriff of Madison County for 32 years, and his legacy is so legendary in this county that it is essentially impossible to talk about the jail without talking about E.Y.
My daddy, as far back as I can remember, he lived and breathed politics. My name is James Warren Ponder. I'm 86 years old.
E.Y., he was E.Y. There'd never be another E.Y.
I thought he was a very likable person. He was a likable person.
They trusted him, and he was honest with them. He didn't double cross them.
Obviously, he'd loan people money, and if he got up there, like you say, he'd help. He did help people.
Well, okay, I'm Lawrence Ponder, and appreciate what y'all are doing. E.Y. was my uncle. My dad and he were brothers. I used to be old school. That's plain clothes, plain old car, which didn't cost taxpayers much. And then it was as these real bad cases they had, they cost some people. Otherwise, they may not have caught. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of stories about E.Y., and one of the stories is that E.Y. never carried a gun.
Well, you never knew whether he had one or not.
He wasn't rough tough, but he got the job done.
I never did know he had any enemies or anything now. course, he might have had, he being the sheriff and all.
No, he had his enemies, you know, well, political enemies, you know. Yeah, those didn't vote for him. They speak to him, but they weren't his friends, you know.
He never gave up on people like I do. So sometimes I'll draw the line quicker than he would. I've heard him say before, well, they've helped us in the past, and he was always looking at the future, what he could get out of them.
If he had a warrant for somebody, he wouldn't send 2 carloads. He'd send word, tell old Bill, come over and see me. Bill knew he was caught. Come in the back door after dark, and walk in that back room up back here. I said, God darn you, let's get this straightened out now.
He'd bring them in and he'd settle it over here at the jail. It didn't wind up over here in this courthouse. It was settled right there. And
yeah, he said if there's any hope at all, the last place for a boy is jail. And that's the truth, yeah. That's the truth, yeah.
You take 2 who got into a fight, he'd bring them in there and he'd talk to them. And the next thing you know, they shook hands and walked out. Yeah. He didn't wind up over here, one slapped the other and assault and all that good stuff and all.
Some people might think it's unethical, and it might have been, I don't know, I'm not going to say, but I don't believe in enforcing the law all the way down the line. Every situation is a little different.
So those are years gone by. Mm-hmm.
You know, what he did then wouldn't work at all today, you know.
You didn't have the publicity, the newspaper wasn't bothering you. You had no TV, radio didn't get involved in local political things. It's a different ball game today.
You take moonshine back in, you know, corn liquor, it wasn't really that bad. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, you had a few drunks to deal with, but now you've got meth, and you've got this other stuff out here is killing the young generation.
The old jail represents this transition from the past into the future, and that's a sensitive topic.
I used to know everybody. I don't really know anybody now. And you know, your families, they move away, and it's just hard.
So one of the major goals of our project in renovating the old Marshall Jail is to be a part of the positive growth of the town of Marshall.
Yeah, I missed the old rolling peddler, you know, and right in Marshall on Saturday you couldn't walk down the sidewalk.
But it can be prosperous in a new and different way.
Oh yeah, and everybody knew about it, you know. And I remember people over in the island, they park on the island and walk across the bridge. You couldn't get in town.
One of my favorite things is a lot of times when I bring people in the jail for the first time, they'll say, oh, if these walls could talk. And I feel like the walls are talking. And that's what these stories are. And our job is just to listen. Marshall needs new energy, and it needs sort of outside investment, if you will. But that needs to be done in a sensitive way that respects the past. And I completely heartfelt belief, I have a complete and heartfelt belief that, you know, we can create a community here that respects and honors the past and looks towards the future.